with one of our classmates, John Elson. John lives in Chicago, but he's down in St. Louis for the Thanksgiving holiday, visiting his family. Yeah, your wife's from here, isn't she?
Yes. She went to Burroughs and was, what, 2 years behind our class.
Okay. And then her brother was in the class of 59.
That's right.
At Country Day.
That's right, Bill Tucker.
Bill Tucker, right. So you have all sorts of Country Day connections. Well, I guess your wife went to Burroughs. We can't call that one. Yeah. So tell me, you're still working, are you?
Oh, yeah, busier than ever. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing I've done basically since 1971. I started there in the legal clinic at University of Chicago, Mandel Clinic, law school, and then I left in 1975 to go to Northwestern's clinical program. And I've been at Northwestern teaching some regular courses off and on civil procedure, and I'm now teaching a seminar in education law that I've taught for a number of years. But most of my time is litigating with students on behalf of poor people.
Oh, wow. Well, isn't that nice that you do that? That is. Pro bono, I guess, is that what they call?
Right. We don't charge for our services, so the people really that we take can't afford private attorneys.
I see. But you're being way too modest. You're doing other things too. You're on the board of accreditations for all the law schools you visit. Tell me about it.
Well, no. I mean, I was on the accreditation committee of the ABA, but they have terms, the section of legal education. But I do site inspection teams, on-site inspection teams for the ABA section of legal education. Now I'm writing a report that's due for Columbia Law School.
Oh.
That we did in late October.
Oh, so you visit these places and then...
Right. They don't have regular teams that visit. They just choose teams of usually 7 people, a number of academics, legal academics, and a practicing lawyer, and somebody from university administration. I guess I've done 19 of these.
And you say it's a volunteer type.
Yeah, it is.
They pay your expenses.
Expenses, right. And usually we have some nice meals in
okay.
New York City, you know, but we try not to go overboard.
And tell me, I know in your past you've been to the Washington, D.C. and argued cases in front of the Supreme Court.
Right. Well, I've had 3 arguments in the Supreme Court and a number of cases decided on the papers without argument. Right. But I haven't done that in about 15 years, I guess was my last case there.
Oh, I see. So you don't, do you have any plans to retire?
Not immediate. I know Sally would like me to retire in a year. I'm still paying tuition, sort of, for one son. So I'd like to get that out of the way. But no, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I think I'd like to cut down a little bit because I have a very active caseload, and with the teaching, sometimes it gets very hectic. But I'd like to figure out some way to maybe cut down on the cases and that kind of thing.
Oh, I see.
But right now, at least another year, 2 years, and maybe longer.
Okay. Well, now you have 2 sons.
Yes.
And one of them's a lawyer?
Yes. He went to Washington U Law School, graduated a year ago, and he's been at the Paul Weiss Rifkin law firm in New York City for a little over a year now.
It's one of the major law firms?
Right, litigation firm in New York.
Wow.
And he loved Washington U Law School.
Well, good. Yeah. Where did he live, in the dorms, or did he have an apartment?
No, he had an apartment just off Delmar.
Oh.
I forgot the street.
Okay, well that's around the Del Mar Loop. That's where a lot of the Washington U kids live there. Yeah. And your other son is at Stanford, right? Right,
yeah. He went to Bowdoin and then worked for the Environmental Defense Fund for 2 years in New York City. And now he's in his 2nd year at Stanford Business School in a joint environmental science business program.
Oh my. Great. And Sally, I guess she's not active now, but isn't she a lawyer?
Oh, yes. She practiced for 20 years or so for the Legal Assistance Foundation. And then she worked for about 10, 12 years as the supervising law clerk. I forgot her exact title, at the Federal District Court. She supervised, I don't know, 5 attorneys. She and they would write decisions, basically, for judges in prisoners' cases.
Oh.
And she had done for legal assistance until 1994, and the Congress prohibited legal services from representing prisoners in class actions. She specialized in prisoner class action cases.
I see. Wow.
So she had some expertise in prison law, and then it was sort of a natural fit for her to go over to federal court. Now she's been retired for 2 years. She had an illness that is being treated, but it really limits her ability to work.
I see. Yes, I know we missed you at the 45th reunion because I know she was having problems.
Right. Then she really just at that time came down with this, or it was discovered what it was, and so she was in the hospital for treatment and all that, and I just couldn't get away. I really missed not being there, though. I was tremendously looking forward to it.
Well, we missed you too. I mean, you are you were a stellar classmate, and I'll always remember you won the Headmaster's Cup.
Well, it's still on one of my shelves.
Uh-huh. Well, it sounds like, but I'll tell you what, if I ever get into trouble with the law, your family is the best family to know. Sounds like any or either one of them could take care of any problem I had.
Well, right now I'm specializing in mortgage fraud, so if you're ever get a deal with a fraudulent mortgage broker or a public housing eviction, I do a lot of those. So if you go into public housing, you know, and you get caught with drugs or something, they want to evict you, call me. And special education too, so that's always a lot of special education cases.
Okay. So you've lived in Chicago. Well, you went to Harvard. I remember that. You went to Harvard right out of Country Day. And then did you go right to Chicago after that?
I did. Right. I spent 3 years at Harvard, which is sort of a mistake. I should have spent 4. And then I went to U of Chicago Law School. Now, you know, our law school does not take kids out of college. We insist on 2 or 3 years work experience.
No kidding. Now, I knew most of the MBA programs asked for that.
Right, yeah.
But now the law schools are asking for that.
Well, ours is sort of the leader. Northwestern goes much further in that direction than other law schools. But I think it is something of a trend. And it's worked out very well. I mean, I love having these students in the clinic who've been management consultants or accountants or what have you for years. They're really wonderful in the clinical programs.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. It gives them a broadness. Yeah, other than just being a student, coming in with just a student.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've lived in Chicago since, 1964, I guess, when I graduated from college.
Boy, you really are a Chicagoan.
Yeah, no, we like Chicago.
Yeah, well, I can understand why. I've been to your apartment, and it's just perfect, right on the north side, right. What's the area called again?
Lakeview.
Lakeview.
It's little 3 miles north of the law school, actually, which is in downtown, and right along the lake.
I see. Okay. So are you a Cub fan?
Not particularly. It'd be great if they'd win, but no. I think for my own mental health, I don't get invested in the Cubs. Yeah.
Do you get to any Bears football games?
No. I'm not a huge Bears fan. I want them to win, but I can't stand Bears management and the deals they got from the city with that awful stadium. So I'm not that happy with the Bears either. Oh, I sort of like the Rams. I'm
well, good for you.
Residual Rams and Cardinals fan.
We can use all the help we can get.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you, John. Okay. Thank you very much for letting us interview you. And it sounds like you're being still very productive in your years. And we'll look forward to seeing you at the reunion.
Okay. Well, I look forward to seeing everyone there. Good.